being firm in your boundaries, in your values and your morals, and saying no to people, to things, to places, to environments, to whatever it is. When you get to that point where you're just tired, the simple way or the most basic way of handling those situations don't work. You have to go to the extreme. Your burden, your task, your work, your assignment is just really heavy. It's great. Navigating narcissists and people who want to control you and all of these things, right? As you navigate all of these things, whatever it is that you are navigating. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is December 30th. I'm getting ready for work, and as I was getting dressed, Spirit just sent me the message to record and also just talk about a few things. The topics have been narrowed down based on the title of the video, right? So I'm gonna do my hair and my makeup and talk about these things as I go along. The year is winding down. Well, it's already, 2026 has been here, according to the energetic calendar. But also, like, at the same time, this is a new year according to the calendar. But then you have the other new year that doesn't really start until springtime. So, there are a lot of different energies at play here. Either way, this is a time that we're in where we have to really extend ourselves grace as we move between, for whomever this is for, right? You know if this resonates with you because you have been really on this path of self-love, growth, really choosing yourself, really ridding yourself of the patterns and the habits and the programming that's been ingrained in you. You've been really adamant and consistent about undoing all of that. You've been able to see clearly this from that, what's what, where you need to be, who you want to be, where your soul is calling you to go, what your soul is calling you to do, versus the old path. Ooh, hello. Yes, the girls are nice. Today is really windy out, so I don't think I'm gonna wear my hair out. I think I'm just gonna pin it up to be safe. But these are some nice curls. When you get a nice pin curl set, girl. But we're in this space where we're moving between the two, right? It's like the veil is thin. We're still releasing old parts of ourselves. We're still being presented with ways to choose what is really aligned with our soul destiny. We're still being presented with like tests or lessons, but they're not in the sense of, I don't feel like they're in the sense of like karma or anything like that, because I really do feel that ultimately we've already chosen, we've already chosen our path. You've already chosen your soul. You've already chosen your soul alignment. So it's more about being firm in your boundaries, in your values and your morals, and saying no to people, to things, to places, to environments, to whatever it is. Really saying no. That's where I feel like we are. Here is done. So with that, of course, saying no, setting boundaries, all of that comes, the guilt, the taking on of other people's emotions. Again, whomever I'm speaking to, you will know if this is for you. And that too is something that we are being called to heal, all of that and really transmute that, because we have to really embody self-love and self-worth and self-respect. There's also something about just like compassion, like doing all of these things with compassion. But there's also the difficulty of that is, and I'm speaking from my experience, is that if you're somebody who has really been, has this really, I don't want to say high calling, like it means that you're this supreme sovereign, not that. It just means, when I say this, it means that you've been assigned or tasked with healing like really deep rooted wounds and trauma and patterns in your lineage. And so your burden, your task, your work, your assignment is just really heavy. It's great. It is large. So as you move through breaking maybe people-pleasing ways and self-sacrificing and navigating narcissists and people who want to control you and all of these things, right? As you navigate all of these things, whatever it is that you are navigating, the simple way or the most basic way of handling those situations don't work. It doesn't work. So you have to go to the extreme, and that also looks like, you know, working through all of the basic ways first, and then, you know, you're like, damn, it's just not working. For instance, when it comes to setting boundaries with certain people, the first action step would be to explain to them, to bring it to their attention, tell them, express it verbally. Now, when you're dealing with narcissists and extremes, that doesn't work, because they don't want to hear anything that has nothing, that's not in favor for them, right? They don't care about you at all. It always comes back to, well, what about me? What about me? You know? So you try that, doesn't work. You can also try speaking to them gently, nicely, softly. Doesn't work. And so the extreme is stop responding. The person on the receiving end will not like it. They might, you know, react, retaliate, whatever, lash out. But you have to do what you need to do for your peace, for your growth. When you're choosing this path of growth and evolution, it really is that. Like, we have to choose. And this is something, this same example that I'm giving you guys in terms of like not responding to people, this is something I started implementing, I want to say, over the last 3 weeks of my life. I've done this before where I just like cut people off and stop talking, but it wasn't from who I am now. It was right to do at that time, but it was just a different energy. I was more in my ego at that time. I still had a lot of ego shedding to do. There was definitely, you know, heavy, denser energy that I was carrying. Now it's like it's really, I'm tired. I'm tired. When you get to that point where you're just tired, you surrender. You surrender and give it up. And you really choose what you want. When, you know, we say that we want, you know, all these things, and like, we want a life of peace, we want a life of beauty, we want a life of happiness and joy and all of that. And sometimes we can be oblivious, blinded to see this, I'm gonna call them really small, sneaky ways that we're still allowing the total opposite of what we want to surround us, to be in our block. Therefore, block what it is that we really want. It's blocking that peace and that joy. And it's because we are allowing that with our habits, our responses, what we're doing, our actions, subconsciously, because we haven't gotten to that point yet, right? But when you get to that point, when you get to that point where you see it all, and again, when you're tired, when you are tired and you're just done with it all, and you again choose yourself, it's life-changing and it's game-changing. Oh, I forgot my blush. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna skip over to makeup really quick. I'm just putting on some blushy blush. again, my Nude Ambition Morphe palette. Feeling a bit show-offish. I like Best Assets too. I don't think I've ever tried that on my cheeks. Let's mix these two and see what. Okay. But yeah, girl. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I truly believe that 2026 will be, I don't know, I'm getting the word golden, a golden year. Does this mean everything is going to be great and rainbows and unicorns and spick and span and not a bad thing will happen? No, that's not what that means. I do believe it will come with so much change and healing and enlightenment. I feel like it'll come with a lot of new, a lot of unfolding, the results of seeds that were planted this year in 2025, work that was put in. I do feel like 2026 will bring all of that to the forefront. I mean, it is a universal year one, right? So hello, this makes sense. It's not my personal year one. That's also something you might want to, for whomever, if you're interested in numerology, but numerology is a huge part of my life. When I tell you, numerology, boy, woo. So, yeah, so if that's something that you are interested in or something that speaks to you, you can look up your personal year for 2026. Because our personal year energy tends to override the universal year energy. So even though next year is a universal year one with new starts, new beginnings, all of that, your personal year could be something different. It could be a 5, which means 5 is aligned with the change, expansion, exploration, could be travel. Okay, I could do a whole thing on numerology and spirituality. But anyways, all right. Just gonna put something on my lips. Yeah. Old soft blur. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Extend yourself grace. Breathe. Breathe. Take moments to reflect. This is really a time of like slowing down too. Want to slow down where we can. Okay, I'm gonna head out for work. Gotta go get the car warmed up. Gotta go put in gas. All the things. All right. Take care, you guys. Have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Bye.